Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked in the mirror, and felt like the man staring back at you wasn't quite the same as the one you remember? Maybe your energy feels thinner, like a candle burning lower. Maybe your drive, both in life and in intimacy, doesn't spark the way it used to. You try to push through telling yourself it's just age, but deep down you miss the vitality that once came so easily. For many men over 65, this quiet decline is one of the most personal unspoken struggles. Testosterone levels dip, circulation slows, and the connection between mind and body feels like it's slipping away. It's not just about physical changes, it's about how those changes touch your confidence, your relationships, and even the way you see yourself as a man. But what if you could reignite that connection, not with pills or quick fixes that fade as fast as they arrive, but with a simple, deeply restorative practice that takes just minutes a day, a way to reawaken your body's natural strength, reclaim your vitality, and remind yourself you're still here, still capable, still a man in full. Today, I'm going to guide you through a proven, science-backed method that thousands of men have used to feel more alive, more present, and more in control. It's gentle, private, and entirely in your own hands, literally. Subscribe to Life After 65 and tell us where you're watching from. I'd love to know. Stay with me because this could be the moment you stop waiting for change and start living it. Let's start with something most men rarely talk about openly, but nearly all will experience in some form changes in sexual performance and stamina as we age. Studies show that around 10% of healthy men face some form of erectile difficulty, and that number rises sharply for men dealing with conditions like diabetes or heart disease. But beyond the statistics, you may have felt it in quieter ways: a heaviness in your legs after a short walk, stiffness in your hips when you stand up, or a tightness in your lower back and belly that you can't quite explain. These are not just random discomforts, they're signals from your body. Your pelvic region is one of the most complex and sensitive networks in your entire body. It's home to an incredible web of nerves, muscles, and blood vessels, all working together to maintain your vitality. One nerve in particular, the pudendal nerve, plays a starring role. It's like the main highway for sensation and function in the groin area. But just like any road, if it's neglected, blocked by muscle tension, underused due to stress, or slowed down by age, traffic begins to thin. The signals fade not because the system is broken, but because it's waiting for the right kind of stimulation to come back to life. That's where male wellness massage comes in. Now, I'm not talking about anything designed purely for pleasure in the conventional sense. This is about circulation, muscle relaxation, and reactivating dormant nerve pathways. It's about reconnecting four key elements: your brain, your breath, your heart, and your pelvis into a single integrated system. When these four work together, the results can be remarkable. Science backs this up. In a controlled study, men who committed to targeted pelvic floor exercises saw measurable improvements in erectile function. After just 3 months, their scores on the International Index of Erectile Function rose significantly, and 40% regained normal performance. Those aren't just numbers, they're proof that your body is capable of rebuilding even after years of decline. The beauty of this method is that it works with your body's own design. You don't need to strain, force, or push beyond your limits. You only need to show up for yourself consistently with patience and attention. Think of it as tending a garden that's been left untended for too long. The soil is still fertile, the seeds are still there, and with the right care, growth returns. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 3 specific techniques that use only your hands and a few minutes each day to restore healthy blood flow, ease muscle tension, and rebuild the pathways that keep you feeling alive. They're simple enough to remember after hearing them once, yet powerful enough to change how you feel within a week. So before we dive into the first technique, I want you to ask yourself, have you noticed changes in your own body, subtle or obvious, that made you wonder if the best days are behind you? Hold that thought, because what we're about to explore may just show you that the road ahead is still wide open. Have you ever felt these signs creeping into your own life? Let me know in the comments. I read everyone. And now let's move into the first technique that could start turning things around. The first technique is called the ring glide, and while it's simple to learn, its impact can be profound. Picture this: just as a river needs a steady current to stay alive, your body's tissues need healthy, unbroken blood flow to remain strong and responsive. Over time, tension in the pelvic muscles, reduced activity, or even prolonged sitting can slow that current. The ring glide is like gently removing the stones and debris from that riverbed, allowing the water to run freely again. Here's how it works. Using your thumb and index finger, form a loose, comfortable ring at the base of the penis. The key word here is loose. You're not trying to squeeze or restrict anything. Instead, think of it as guiding the flow, not damming it up. This should feel natural and comfortable, never forced. A small amount of natural oil like coconut or almond oil will help your fingers glide smoothly without friction. Start at the base, and with a slow, steady motion, guide your hand toward the tip, then release and repeat. There's no rush. In fact, speed works against you here. This isn't about getting somewhere fast, it's about restoring a connection that's been fading quietly over the years. As you perform the movement, focus on your breathing. Inhale deeply through your nose, letting your belly rise, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Let each glide match your breath, creating a rhythm that feels calm and steady. This synchrony between breath and touch sends a message to your body: you are safe, you are present, and you are reconnecting with yourself. With each repetition, you're doing more than just stimulating blood flow. You're reawakening nerve endings that may have been dormant for years. You're rebuilding communication between your mind and this vital part of your body. Many men report that within days of starting, they notice subtle warmth, a gentle tingling, or simply an increased sense of awareness. These are early signs that the pathways are opening again. It's important to approach this with patience. Just like training a muscle or tending a neglected garden, the changes build over time. One man I spoke with, a 70-year-old named Thomas, told me that after a week of consistent practice, he noticed not only physical improvements, but also a shift in his mood. I felt lighter, he said, like a part of me had woken up that I didn't realize was asleep. The ring glide is more than a physical exercise. It's an act of self-care and respect for your body. Each time you take those few minutes, you're reminding yourself that you're worth the effort and that your vitality is not gone, only waiting to be reawakened. Have you ever tried a practice like this before? Did you notice any difference in how you felt afterward? Share your experience. I'd like to hear your story. Now that you understand the ring glide, let's explore a second technique that focuses on an area most men completely overlook, yet it plays a crucial role in overall vitality. The second technique is called the perineal pulse, and it focuses on a part of your body that many men barely think about, yet it's central to both physical function and overall vitality. The perineum is the soft area of tissue located between the scrotum and the anus. It might seem like an unremarkable spot, but beneath it lies a hub of activity. This small region sits directly over the prostate gland and the pelvic floor muscles, two key players in sexual health, urinary control, and pelvic stability. It's also incredibly rich with nerve endings, many of which connect to the same pathways that govern arousal sensation and muscle coordination. Over time, stress, inactivity, and even long hours of sitting can create hidden tension in the pelvic floor. This tension can restrict blood flow, limit nerve communication, and slowly dull your body's natural responsiveness. The perineal pulse is designed to reverse that process using gentle, targeted touch to release deep muscular knots and wake up these important nerve pathways. To begin, make sure you're in a comfortable private space where you won't be interrupted. You can perform this sitting or lying down, whichever allows you to fully relax. Using two clean fingers, apply light circular motions or gentle pulsing pressure to the perineal area. The movement should be slow and deliberate, almost as if you're coaxing the muscles to soften rather than forcing them to release. As you work, close your eyes and take slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose, letting your belly expand, and exhale through your mouth, feeling your body sink deeper into relaxation. Imagine each breath sending warmth and softness to the area beneath your fingers. This isn't about rushing to a goal, it's about letting your body remember how it feels to be open, relaxed, and connected. Men who practice the perineal pulse regularly often notice changes beyond improved sexual function. Some find they sleep more deeply at night, their urinary flow becomes smoother, and they feel a surprising sense of calm in their daily lives. One gentleman in his late 60s shared that after just a week, he felt less trapped in his body and more at ease during everyday activities. From a scientific perspective, this makes perfect sense. By stimulating the perineum, you're indirectly engaging the pelvic floor muscles and the prostate, encouraging healthy blood flow and supporting nerve activity. This gentle attention helps maintain muscle tone, reduces pressure on surrounding structures, and may even support long-term prostate health. Think of this technique as tuning a delicate instrument. When the strings are too tight, they can't produce the right sound. When they're loosened just enough, the whole instrument comes back into harmony. Your body works the same way. Have you ever noticed tension in your lower body without realizing it was there until it released? Tell me in the comments. I'd like to know if this resonates with you. Now that we've explored the perineal pulse, it's time to integrate breath and movement in a way that trains your mind and body to work together again. That's what the next technique is all about. The third technique is called the breathstroke, and it's where physical touch meets the deep, calming rhythm of your breath. If the first two techniques focused on opening pathways and releasing tension, this one goes a step further. It rebuilds the mind-body connection that often weakens over the years. Many men don't realize that stress distraction and emotional shutdown can slowly disconnect the brain from the body's natural responses. The breathstroke helps restore that link. To begin, place one hand flat against your lower abdomen or groin area. This is your starting point. As you inhale slowly and deeply through your nose, let your hand gently stroke upward, following the line of your breath as your body expands. Then as you exhale completely through your mouth, guide your hand back down in a smooth, steady motion. The goal is to match your movement exactly to your breathing pattern, creating a seamless flow between breath and touch. This technique does more than simply feel relaxing. By synchronizing your touch with your breathing, you're sending powerful messages to your nervous system. You're telling it to shift from a state of stress and tension into one of safety and openness. In this state, your body produces less cortisol, the main stress hormone, and more nitric oxide, which is essential for healthy blood vessel function and optimal circulation. Think of your breath as a gentle tide washing in and out, carrying away the built-up tension that's been quietly holding you back. With each cycle, you're also training your body to respond with calm awareness instead of anxiety or overexertion. This is especially important for men who have experienced performance-related stress in the past, as it helps reset those old patterns into something healthier. Over time, the breathstroke teaches your body a new rhythm. It encourages the muscles in your pelvic region to release protective tightness, allowing more blood and sensation to return naturally. Many men report that after a week or two of daily practice, they begin noticing spontaneous signs of vitality, especially in the morning when testosterone levels are naturally higher. One man, Richard, a 72-year-old from Colorado, told me that this technique changed more than just his physical health. "It's like I was finally listening to my body instead of pushing it," he said. "And the more I listened, the more it responded." That's the essence of the breathstroke. It's not about forcing change, but inviting it. As you practice, remember that gentleness is key. The more relaxed and present you are, the more effective it becomes. It's not a race. It's a conversation with your body, one breath at a time. Have you ever tried pairing touch with breath before? If so, did you notice the difference it made? Share your experience in the comments. It could help another man feel encouraged to start. Now that you know all three techniques, let's see how they come together into a daily practice that can create noticeable changes in as little as a week. That's what we'll explore next. Now that you've learned the three core techniques, it's time to bring them together into a simple nightly ritual, a 5-minute habit that could change how you feel when you wake up tomorrow morning. The goal here isn't to create the perfect environment or wait for the right moment. It's about making space each day to reconnect with yourself. Think of it as closing the day with a quiet act of self-respect. Start by finding a spot in your home where you can be undisturbed. It doesn't need to be elaborate. A favorite chair, the edge of your bed, or a soft mat on the floor can all work. The only requirement is that it feels private, safe, and comfortable. Turn off your phone, dim the lights, and give yourself permission to be fully present for the next few minutes. Begin by sitting or lying in a relaxed position. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your lower belly. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold gently for a count of 4. Then exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. As you breathe, offer yourself a quiet affirmation, such as "I'm still here. I still deserve care. I matter." These words aren't just nice sentiments, they help shift your nervous system into a state of openness and healing. When you feel centered, start with the ring glide technique for 1 to 2 minutes. Focus on matching your touch with your breath, keeping your movements slow and deliberate. Next, transition into the perineal pulse for another minute or so, allowing the deep tension in the pelvic floor to melt away. Finish with the breath stroke guiding your touch with each inhale and exhale, letting the rhythm carry you into a state of calm awareness. When all 3 techniques are complete, don't rush to stand up. Stay where you are for a moment, breathing slowly, letting your body absorb what you've just done. You might notice a warmth in your lower body, a sense of lightness, or even a subtle shift in mood. Acknowledge it. Quietly remind yourself, "I showed up for myself tonight. I'm not finished. I'm still a man in full." Many men who commit to this 5-minute ritual find it becomes one of the most meaningful parts of their day. It's not only about physical change, it's about reclaiming ownership of your well-being. And the more you honor this time, the more your body will respond. Have you ever had a small daily habit that made a big difference over time? Share it in the comments. It might inspire another man to start his own journey. Now that we've built this nightly routine, let's talk about what you can expect in the first week of practicing it consistently and why those early changes can be so motivating. When you begin this nightly practice, the first week often brings more changes than you might expect. These shifts may be subtle at first, but they're real and they're signs your body is waking up again. On day 1 or 2, most men notice something almost intangible, a renewed awareness of their own body. It might come as a gentle warmth spreading through the groin area, a faint tingling in the lower belly, or simply the feeling that you're paying attention to a part of yourself you've ignored for too long. This isn't about instant transformation. It's the first spark of reconnection. By day 3 or 4, the effects of improved circulation start to show. Blood vessels that have been sluggish for years begin to open, allowing fresh oxygen and nutrients to flow freely again. You might find you're sleeping more deeply, waking with a clearer head, or feeling more relaxed during the day. One man told me he caught himself humming while making coffee, a small but powerful reminder that joy can quietly return when the body feels alive again. Around day 5 or 6, the physical responses often become more noticeable. Erections may become more spontaneous, particularly in the early morning when testosterone is naturally higher. Sensitivity can return to areas that had felt numb, and your body may start releasing layers of tension you didn't even know you were holding. With each release, the mind follows, becoming lighter and more open. By day 7, something often clicks. For some men, it's experiencing their first strong, sustained erection in weeks or months. For others, it's the deeper realization that they're not broken or too old, they're simply healing. And that healing is happening faster than they dared hope. This week-long journey isn't about chasing dramatic results. It's about recognizing the steady, quiet progress that builds a foundation for long-term change. Every warm sensation, every relaxed breath, every moment of increased awareness is proof that your body still has the capacity to adapt and thrive. It's important to keep your focus on consistency rather than perfection. You might miss a night or feel distracted some evenings. That's fine. What matters is that you return to the practice over and over, because each session builds on the last. Think of these 7 days as the first chapter in a new story. You're setting the tone for what's to come, a deeper connection to your body, a renewed sense of vitality, and a confidence that grows naturally from within. Have you ever experienced a small daily change that created a big difference in how you felt? Share it below. Your insight could be the encouragement another man needs to take his first step. Now let's bring everything together with a closing message, a reminder of what's possible when you choose to invest in yourself starting tonight. You've now seen how a few minutes of intentional self-care each night can begin to change the way you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. This isn't about chasing youth or pretending age doesn't matter. It's about honoring the man you are today while giving your body the support it needs to keep showing up for life with strength and confidence. These three techniques, the ring glide, the perineal pulse, and the breaststroke, work together to restore healthy blood flow, relax deep muscle tension, and reawaken the nerve pathways that make you feel alive. If you take just one thing from this, let it be this: your body is far more resilient than you might believe. Even after years of neglect or doubt, it can respond quickly when given the right kind of attention. You don't need hours in the gym or expensive treatments to start seeing change. All it takes is 5 minutes of quiet space and the willingness to care for yourself. Start tonight. Choose one technique and practice it slowly with your full attention. Tomorrow add another. Let the habit grow naturally until it becomes part of your evening rhythm. And remember, this isn't just a routine. It's a way of telling yourself every day I matter. My health matters. My life is still full of possibility. If this spoke to you, share it with a friend. You never know who might need to hear it. Leave a comment below about what you're taking from this video. I'd love to read your thoughts. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Life After 65 so we can continue this journey together. Your strength doesn't fade with age, it evolves. And so should your habits. Tonight can be the first step toward a more vibrant, connected, and confident you. The rest of the story is yours to write.